We left the investigators by the threshold of the unknown. What new discoveries will they find within? Will there be danger? Will there be peril? Or will there be an infinite line of just waiting to get to the front only to find out they have to go join another line? That'd be kind of terrible. Introduce yourselves, investigators, in no particular order.
My name is Kleika. I play Martin Schmidt, who is a former ski jumping superstar from Germany.
I'm not sure you are.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm Halloween. I play Dr. Daniel Grants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Luke, and I'm playing Violet Carter.
And finally,
I'm Rufus, and I'm playing the Prince Sexual of the Russian Steppes, Stravinsky,
you got the name right.
of Balsum.
And there we go. Does
awesome.
anyone need a summary of what happened last time?
Yes, por favor.
Last time, the investigators, led by their intrepid friends, I will get the name of one of them, I believe he was Angus McNab, with Rob McRae and Elizabeth McRae with you, because they're going with you to try and find their kidnapped child, and Angus was Angus McNair, not McNab. My mistake. There are so many people with Mac in their name. I bet you noticed.
Are they all still with us, or did some of them leave? I forget.
Angus left after the stuff in the ruins where you got attacked by skeletons, but he left to go and alert people because you found a dead body.
We got Man and his wife then. With us
You do
still.
have them. You went through the woods, and that was when you realized that a Vemuurn was following you. And remembering your past experiences with the invisible, corroding entities, you ran. And you ended up at the foot of a very large hill/mountain with a small house ahead of you that you have just smashed the lock off the front door of, if memory serves.
Was the lock perchance a tasty pretzel?
No. I will re-describe the house for you. You're standing in front of a stone cottage with a thatched roof. It rests beneath a low cliff on the side of a very large hill that you think might be a mountain. A well-kept trail leads from the house to the top of the mountain, and another fork leads back into the woods. A good freshwater spring emerges further down the hillside below the cottage. You've just smashed the lock off. You can go in if you wish.
We totally should.
Yep.
Who's going in
Sounds
first?
good to me.
As always, Martin Schmidt takes the lead and valiantly does a forward roll into the house and covers all corners.
Okay.
Remember the appropriate phrase.
I go dynamic anteru.
Good man.
You open the door, roll in, and quickly assess the very small room that is ahead of you.
I use architecture immediately.
This is a small room. A large wooden table takes up most of the space. It is cluttered with papers, a pile of old books, and various implements that you think may be arcane in nature. There is a single battered chair, is the only other piece of furniture. There is a very small room that you think is there, like the corner of the room, that's next to a door that is shut.
Well, I think you know what I do next. I do spot hidden.
You're gonna spot hidden, all right.
Of course I do, yeah.
Do you want me to roll that for you?
Please roll everything, Kiko. Your rolls never let me down, ever.
Don't they? Okay. You don't seem to find anything especially out of place here.
I was robbed. I tell you, robbed.
Is it a dusty place?
No, it's not dusty.
Let's see.
Uh-oh, someone lived there.
So there's a table, there's a single chair, just one, and various papers and books on the table.
A book.
Did you say books?
To count, there are 7.
Peppa Pig's first book.
I'm gonna dive face first into books, papers, give it to me. I'm gonna rub it all over myself.
Okay, right. You're going to start looking at the books and searching them. What's the rest of you doing?
Keeping an eye out outside for a potential man that comes back.
Okay. Anything else in particular anyone else is doing?
Can I explore? Like, how much of the house can we get to at the moment? Like all of it?
There's
Or-
one room you're in right now. There's what looks like a very small room that's like, say, as if two walls were built to make a tiny room within this room. There's a door for that, and there's a door right next to it that you think leads to the other part of this small house. So there's two doors. One leads to small, one leads to a larger place.
I want to go to the small place.
You want to open up the small place, and what's Schmidt doing, apart from feeling betrayed?
He's dead.
He's
Um,
gone.
Pouting.
I don't
in
know.
betrayal.
I mean, I kind of like, I check everything on the table and so on. I look around if I find anything.
How thorough are you being in this search? Like, are you meticulously searching absolutely everything top to bottom, or are you just doing a cursory glance?
I meticulously search everything.
Okay, right. We will do the doctor's thing first, because that is the thing that will happen first. You open up this tiny room to find a very small kitchen. A small scullery and pantry in here, with a wood-burning cook stove. There are a few dirty pots, pans and plates, about a dozen tins of food, and you spy a half-empty bottle of what looks like whiskey.
Huh.
Drink it.
You're just going to
no,
drink the
but
whiskey? Okay.
No, but I'll stash it for later.
I thought it was Daniel that was looking at that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not in the room, am I?
You. That's the room you've opened up.
Oh, okay. Then it was Daniel. Sorry.
That's the room you've
Got
opened
that
up,
wong.
Daniel. It's a
Got that
very
wrong.
small little kitchen.
Oh, sorry.
The
I
whiskey
thought we
room.
were still in the other. I thought that like was still looking. In the
No.
other.
His search is going to take a little while. So that's what you found, a very small kitchen with a bottle of whiskey. Half drunk.
There's nothing else of
Time for whiskey.
any note.
Not that you can see, no. It just looks like a small kitchen.
Boo.
You're not seeing anything in particular, Stravinsky. As a note, the McRaes are lingering by the entrance as well. They're not going to go in while you're all in there, because there's too many people in that room as it
They
is.
don't know anything about this, do they?
When you ask them about this, let's see who would answer that. Rob McRae thinks about it and goes, "Well, if this is anyone's house, it could be McBain's house. Does live
McBain,
McBain.
far out. Duncan McBain
brother of McSlaughter. and
keeps to
McGraves.
himself mostly. Old man. Nice enough. Goes around the forest a lot.
Oh.
Good shot with the shotgun, I've heard.
Does this guy know him?
I met him once. I wouldn't say I'm acquainted with him, really.
Would he be angry if he saw us in house?
Probably.
Well, can you talk him down if this happens? Explain situation?
Probably not.
Oh dear.
Keep your
Minsky
eyes
goes in and informs men of this.
Quick glance, Violet, of these books. The 6 of the books appear to be a volume on magic and the occult. You think
Interesting.
that somebody who read these would greatly benefit from an increase in their knowledge of the occult, but you wouldn't benefit from these. All
Sounds
this
too
stuff
cool.
is stuff you know. This is something for a more of a beginner in the occult. The
Rookie.
7th book is a book called True Magic by
Monthly.
Theophilus Wren, written in the 17th century. This version of the book looks to be in exceptionally good condition.
Interesting. Okay.
I have a guess. It
So,
might pertain to not being eaten by the monster that's in the forest you live in.
so do you want to take this book?
I'm going to take all the books, but I also want to see what's in the papers.
Ah, you're going to look at the papers. Okay.
Obviously, I can't read the books right now, so I'm
The
going to.
papers are written in some sort of code you do not know. It's very quick.
Okay.
They're written in a code. Very quick to notice that they're in a code, but you have no idea where to begin in deciphering them.
Okay.
Schmidt,
Yeah, well,
you are starting to give up on your search, whereupon you decide to look at the chair, because you're being exceptionally thorough. You
Okay.
look under the chair, and
Like on the ground or on,
you
on the
go,
bottom side of the chair?
you crouch down, look underneath the chair, the bottom of the chair,
Mm-hmm.
and underneath the chair,
Mm-hmm.
strapped to the fastened to the bottom of it, are a pile of things of interest. There are of note is what looks like a list and a
Okay.
letter. They're very easy to unfasten if you want to take them off.
Okay, yeah, I take them off and I look at the list.
Okay, I will send you all the list because I have it right here for you. The list is that.
Okay. Oh no, soys. And Kodsk.
McBain.
Coven members, eh?
McMurdo.
Potov. Knights of the Old Vladivostok.
You recognize these abbreviations.
What?
You do, because these are abbreviations from the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight that you read when you went into their forbidden library.
Oh yeah.
These are
The lads.
These are Knights of the Keepers of the Silver Gate, Knights of the Outer Void, and the SOYS you don't recognize.
For those not brain enough to click the link Kiko has helpfully provided in the comments, this is a list of 10 Coven members with abbreviations by their names.
I will mention now that some of these names are people that you have met.
McBain is the guy living here, yes?
McBain is the guy living here. There is also let's see. I'm trying to find the one in
Hayes,
Well,
we've
McNair,
met.
I recognise.
MacNess, yes.
I recognise the Hayes, or is that from somewhere
There
else?
is also a Fergus McGuinness, who happens to be the owner of the pub.
Used to be or is.
He was a bit
Is.
shifty.
Is. And
Is.
there is also MacNair, Daniel recognises as the woman in the bar as well that was working.
Nice.
I feel like I've heard Hayes before.
Can I open the letter? Is it in a regular envelope?
It is it's an already open letter. I will read it to you, and I will post it to you as well.
Well, technically, I guess I'm reading it to the others.
Okay, but I will read it to
Yeah.
you. Dear Mr. McBain, this letter will introduce you to Belphegor, a valued member of our order. He is sent to you to aid you in your search for the missing sections of the relay disc. Maintain your surveillance of Jacob Hancock's agents. They may find another portion of the disc at any time. If they do, you must think of our Lord and grant them no mercy. I expect that you will soon find the disc. Your passage and that of Belphegor have been arranged by our people in London. Both of you must be on that ship when it sails. Obey Belphegor as you would obey me. Glory to the gods, yog-sothoth nablod zin. With confidence in your abilities, Carl Stanford.
It's always a Carl's, isn't it?
Can't trust them, Carls.
So wait, this McBain guy, isn't that the guy that that Stravinsky just talked to?
The guy that literally owns this shack.
That's the guy that lives in the house, yeah.
And Belphegor, to jog your memories if you don't remember, there is a wanted sign for a man called
Yes.
a man who like that.
Wait, so this McBain guy is literally like standing outside the house right now?
No, he's not there.
No, that's the two people that I asked. Those are the two we came
Those
with.
are
I asked them if
McRae's.
they knew him,
Oh,
and
okay.
they just said he lived here.
Those
Oh,
are
I see.
McRae's. He's not here, but this is his house.
I see.
I think we should probably have a look around the house for wards, because that thing obviously doesn't eat his house.
There is
We
another
might
room that you have not opened the door of.
Find a way to not die.
There's another
Yeah.
room if you want to go have a look at that. Anyone?
Yeah, why
That's
not,
not much.
Alec?
Who wants
Yeah,
to
go
open the
ahead.
door? Is it Schmidt again?
Schmidt always goes first.
You open
Open
the
that
door?
door carefully. I open the door carefully.
Okay. But door
Like now that I know that
the
there's
door-
some crazy stuff
the
going
door
on.
creaks loudly as you do. But to your relief, the room beyond is devoid of people. This is a bedroom that holds a battered brass bedstead with a feather bed, dirty sheets, and a down comforter. An ancient and battered wardrobe stands against the wall. You notice that there is a second bed, a crude one beside the first, that has been prepared on the floor and is neatly made up. You also notice pretty much immediately that there are some heavily worn scratch marks on the floor by the wardrobe.
Lehman, wherever he is, begins sweating and sneezing at the mention of a bed.
I once again do my usual spot hidden routine. That's what I exist for.
I've rolled that for you already because I knew you'd say that, and that's what you spotted.
Oh, I see.
The wardrobe there are heavy scratch marks on the floor by the wardrobe, as if it is moved. You also notice that you spot pretty obviously as well, just beneath the bed there is a box. The proper bed is a box. It's not well hidden.
Okay, so I know that the wardrobe has definitely been moved.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Should we try and move it?
I'd say that, yeah, someone give me a hand with this wardrobe.
All
We
right.
can obviously move it.
I'll move the wardrobe with you.
Roll me a D100 for a strength check.
Well, I don't have
Roll
to.
your
It's for
That's a
Daniel.
7.
Ooh. Yeah,
Just
you
your
two
mic.
have no problem.
I don't even need to help. Daniel just like kind of grabs it in
You
one
have
hand. And
even
just
though
moves
this
it
thing
over.
feels like it's got a few things in it, you have no problem moving it with your combined strength. Behind it is another door. This door, by your recollection of how the house looks, leads into the mountain itself.
There's a sorry. What kind of box?
The box, if you're looking at it,
Yeah.
is a small box. If you examine it after you've moved the thing, it looks like it contains various bits of junk. You can rummage through it if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't take you long to find a golden pocket watch with the initials HMH engraved on the back. For those of reference, those are the initials of the guy that you found the corpse of in his house.
Ah,
So they scabbed his watch.
They took his watch.
Thieves.
So you found a door behind the wardrobe. It doesn't look locked, because there's no key.
I have a question before we proceed.
Certainly.
How absolutely destroyed is that lock we binned?
It was
Visibly.
attacked by the sword, I believe, wasn't it?
Ah,
So there is going to be no hiding that you've broken in.
okay. Because I was considering having the men go inside, and then maybe if the guy comes back, we can ambush him and get some info out of him, rather than have him shoot at us from the distance when he sees the house being binned. But there's no way I can sort of make the lock look like, at least at a distance.
No,
that
not
it's
at
not
all.
there.
It's been smashed pretty much beyond proper use.
Oh.
Good try though to think of
Aw.
something.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's
I
commendable that
do
you think
try.
about it. But you have a door that leads into the mountain. There's no lock on it.
How do our NPCs feel about us staying here? I'm assuming they want to move on.
They want
and
to
we'll
go.
be-
They want if they've found out that you found a door, they want to go in, because this
Okay,
could very
well-
well be where the people that have took their child are. Is their logic? They want to keep searching.
How many windows in?
Good thing you asked. There are 2 windows in the first room you came in. They're on the wall with the door, and on that same wall in the room that you're currently in, there's 1 window.
Okay, that's the one with the door leading down.
That's the one with the door leading into the mountains. There are only 3 windows, and there's only 1 door into this shack, which is the door you
Okay,
entered.
We're going into the mountain, I assume, boys.
I mean, if there's a
Sounds-
mountain you can go into, you go into the mountain.
Yep.
Okay, well, if we're gonna do that, I would like to set something up so that if someone opens the into the mountain door, set something up on the side that's not visible from the window, so that there will be a loud clattering of things falling over, so we will at least know if someone's coming in behind us.
I approve of this plan.
Yeah, you could do that. It wouldn't be too difficult for you to set up to make something that will make a clattering noise. You could move some of the various dishes and stuff to make a noise when the door opens.
I shall do so if approved by the committee.
The committee? How does the committee feel about this? Committee? Hello?
The
Yeah, sounds
German
fine.
chancellor gives his vote in approval.
So
very fine.
it does not take you long. It literally takes you like 2 minutes to do this.
Very fine. Shall we?
All right,
Follow
I
the
want
Mountain King?
I want a walking order here because this is going to be a single file thing. Who's going at the front?
I mean, we should probably keep our NPCs in the middle.
Okay.
Daniel's good with a gun, so either
Yeah, I can go to the front.
in the... I mean, like... I think me or Smith first, but we need someone in the back.
Alright, I'll go to the bottom.
Good man.
So Schmidt is going first and Daniel's at the back.
Yep.
Who is going in front of Daniel and behind Schmidt?
I'll go there. Makes most sense. I've got the sword.
Which one? In front of Schmidt?
I'm going behind Schmidt, yeah.
Yep, and which leaves Strabinsky behind the NPCs. And in front of Daniel.
Something like that. Yeah, in front of Daniel.
Okay. So you open the door, and very quickly you realise that this is a well-worn tunnel that leads into the mountain, and it's narrow enough that you can only really go in single file. You decide on your walking orders. You did bring some light with you. I remember that you brought some light with you.
Oh, did we take the pocket watch, by the way? Because I wanted to take the pocket
I
watch.
presume you took it. That's
Ah,
fine.
good.
You can take it. And
Okay.
you don't get very far in. We're talking like 20 feet before there is an intersection. There's one intersection leading left, one leading right. There's
Oh shit.
Could
nothing.
split up?
You could.
Yeah, I guess. I'll take the right. I think that just sounds appropriate.
Okay. I'll do we get an NPC each?
The NPCs are not going to split up.
Ah.
Well, we just referenced. I've got all the books, haven't I?
You've got all the books. You're carrying them all.
Just
You
on your
also have
back.
the only thing that can damage magic.
I presume you brought a big bag with you, thinking that there'd be some sort of books.
Always ready for the books.
The NPCs will not split up. The McRaes are adamant in their exploring together. In fact, when you suggest that you're going to split up, they ask you why.
That's a good question. It is a horror game.
They go, if
It's,
something happens, don't we want to be together?
Yeah, but we can't be too aware of these things because we have to keep the tropes alive. So
Yeah, roll my
German man
John,
goes right.
John Wasabi, please, Kiko.
Royal
German man goes right.
Wait,
you-
these tunnels.
Hmm?
Those of you who've been in tunnels made by a certain crackly boy. Does this look familiar?
No.
Oh yeah, I use architecture to see if these are natural tunnels or if they were.
These are... Ooh, that is a very good roll.
Yeah.
These are most certainly not natural. These have been artificially made.
You even find a signature on one of the rocks by a well-known Herr.
Well, it's odd. They've been
Suchinger.
artificially made, but they're not. They're not. There's no brickwork or any sort of structural parts built into the tunnels. But you know they are not natural. They're too direct to be natural. There's not the small little pockets of.
They have purpose. Basically.
They have purpose, but they're not hewn to the point that they're stone corridors with slabs and. They have purpose.
Daniel, did you have anything that can bin magic? Any of your
Don't think
magic?
so, no.
Because whoever doesn't get violet is potentially fucked.
Don't worry, my fists are magic.
Are you all
With the
sticking
sword.
together or are you splitting up?
Like I said, German man goes right.
Are you all heading right or are you going left?
Like I'm in the front, I'm going right. If people
Okay.
want to follow me, then
He's going right.
I don't know.
Well, Schmidt has decided he's heading right, so that's where he's going.
Yeah, I basically motion to you guys to follow me, so I'm going right. So
It's a
I'm gonna
bit
go, I'll follow to the right as well then.
Right, looks like... Well, that's decided, then you're all pretty much going to the right, really.
Alright then.
Unless you want to force your way to the left.
correct, all right.
Indeed.
So
Germany moves to
you
the
take you take that passage and you're going down it for about another 40 feet, whereupon it then opens out into a large natural cavern, obscured by many stalactites and stalagmites. This cavern is exceptionally dark.
But do we have light?
You
with
have
us?
light. Not a lot of light. It's not. It does not even begin to illuminate everything.
Hmm.
This place is very big.
Can I, like, from what I see and so on, can I kind of like feel how big this might be?
Okay, you're looking at. From what you can see, this goes on to your left for at least another 120, 140, 150 feet. To your right, maybe another 60 feet.
And this
Okay.
is natural.
And it goes up quite a lot. This part seems more natural.
So this is likely where they started the tunnel.
Do I feel any kind of draft?
Well, you can see from your light. To your right, there is a hole at the very end of the part of the cavern. Not far away from it is a very small tunnel. And from where you've emerged, if you went basically straight across the cavern, across the cave, you would get to another tunnel.
Yeah,
So
okay, but like, okay, so I wet my finger in my mouth and kind of like hold it up. Do I feel only like a draft coming from where we entered, or do I kind of like feel it from another direction too?
Wind you can only feel from where you come from.
Okay.
We left the door closed though, so it must become the other thing.
Well, I mean, it might be going like around the door, and so it's probably not a perfectly
there's-
closed off door.
So to your right there is a hole. At the
Okay.
far end, there's a tunnel not far from it, and directly opposite from where you've emerged, across the cavern, about 20, 30 feet away, there is another tunnel. The floor is littered with, floor and ceiling are littered with stalagmites and stalactites. It makes navigating around a little difficult.
I suspect this is where they started the tunnel, and the interesting thing would be to the left down there. Like, they started digging the tunnel here, and it led up to where they built the cavern, and then to wherever they were going to the left.
The McRaes are being exceptionally quiet. They're not saying anything, they're just looking in amazement at this and fear.
I'll leave it up to the people with brain.
I leave it up to the real people with brain.
Who has brain?
Who among us is a brain?
You have brain,
Do I?
apparently.
I've never been accused of having brain. I refuse to have brain. All right, so do any of us actually have like abilities that let us understand where the caves are going, like geology and stuff?
Does anyone have geology? The
Has
answer...
Dubinsky's prolonged time in a cave given him any insight?
Your cave was exceptionally small, I'm afraid.
Oh.
No one has geology.
Is there anything in here that would? Do any of us have any skills that might be relevant?
No.
Spot hidden?
You can spot hidden, yes.
Oh yeah, Kiko, assume that whenever I enter a new place, there is some hidden spotting going.
Actually, I will most of the time get you to ask, because sometimes you might not want to spot hidden.
No, Kiko, there is
Alright.
no hidden that this German does not want to spot.
You don't see anything of particular interest with your glance.
Any listening?
Listening, ooh.
Yeah, I can listen too. I got 76%.
I've got ears.
No, you don't hear anything of particular interest either.
I'm
It's
assuming
very-
us walking around is very echoey and loud.
No, actually, at the moment, I presumed you, up until you've got to the mouth here, the very narrow tunnel has been, has made it so that you aren't making much noise. You haven't actually stepped into the cave proper yet. It is safe to presume that if you start walking around very loudly in there, or as in walking around, you will make noise. If you want to not make noise, you will have to sneak. But I must inform you that sneaking is a skill
That I have.
that you have. Not everyone has it, though.
I definitely don't.
I would suggest doubling back and just having a look at the leftmost bit, and if that's the same, more the same, then
So you guys know the base skill roll percentage on sneak is 10%. But you can double back and check the other side if you want.
what
This
do men
will-
think?
This will
How long
reverse
will
the walking order for a little while.
This won't take long, will it? It was very short.
It wasn't very long. It wouldn't take you long to check the other cave.
Yeah, we can check. Why not?
Alright? You turn around. walk back to the intersection, take the other path. This, about the same-ish travel distance from the intersection, opens up into another cave.
Oh.
This cave, however, is quite a bit different. It's smaller, and it doesn't have the stalagmites or stalactites. They have been removed. Ahead of you, you can see on the left side of the cavern, there is a tunnel leading off. A little past it, there is a stairway leading up. And further alongside it, on the ground level you're on, looks to be some kind of altar.
Aha.
Very mysterious.
Well,
I'm going to use a cult, obviously, to see what's going on with that altar.
You'll have to get closer to...
I'd like to
Can we see if
sneak
anyone's in
around.
the room?
Ooh, that's a good shout. Are you doing it with or without light?
Well,
I would advise.
I'm
light.
gonna do a little sneak without light and just try and see what I can sort of any sign of anything.
You're
he'll
going
come
to
running back
sneak
like a
ahead,
coward.
are you?
Well, just a little check in the room with a few listens and oogles, just to get an idea.
What were you going to say, Schmidt?
Well, I mean, I was going to say if there's some sneaking to be had, you might maybe want to leave that to me, but I don't know how sneaky Stravinsky is.
Semi.
I am 80% German sneak machine.
Well, off you go then.
All right. So you're not. Are you taking light with you, or are you not?
No, if I sneak, then I'm not going to take light
Right.
with me. No.
You're going to sneak. Okay.
Yes.
You move ahead, silently and stillly by yourself. When he leaves the light that you have that you're trying not to shine in there, you can't hear him at all. It's like he's not there.
Well, he's dead then.
Schmidt, you start sneaking closer. You're sticking to what bits of cover there are, and as you get closer to the passageway leading off, there's a small tunnel to your left leading off.
Okay.
Your eyes, because you want me to keep rolling spot hidden,
Yes, of course.
go to the stairs.
The
You
stair.
spot two figures up the stairs. And I want you to make and I'm going to roll a sanity check for you.
Those are not humanoid figures, are they?
No, well they are humanoid.
Ish.
Human-ish, the term you never want to
you
hear.
have failed the sanity check.
But can I roll my 5% mythos to know what they are?
Once we see how much sanity you've lost.
Oh, okay. It won't be much, I'm sure.
It was 3 points of sanity.
That's slightly acceptable.
You lost 3 points of sanity to bring you down to 35. And now we're going to roll your mythos.
Yay.
What you see up the stairs are two humanoid figures that appear misshapen and odd. One of them is hunched, and the other one has a sort of thing about its posture where it's leaning over to the left-hand side. They are quite small as well, really small.
Like defined small.
Like they are probably the size of 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds.
Okay.
It's the kabooters.
They are scaly and with
It's okay.
unnatural eyes, and they are armed with what look like some kind of extremely unusual pistols. They're you can only see them, what little light that's around them, you can see that they're sort of bluish, and they gleam strangely, very strangely in the light that they have.
Smurfs, then.
They don't appear to have seen you. At least you don't think they have seen you.
That's good, because I'm sneaking.
There are two of them.
I will try and sneak back to the rest of the gang to inform them of sanity loss most foul.
You turn around. You're being a little louder than you were before, only because you are so desperately trying to get back. But you don't hear any sudden movements behind you. So you don't think they have noticed you. You get back to the group.
Okay. Everybody, you need to be as quiet as we can. We probably need to keep the lights hidden. There are weird, scaly, blue,
They're not. They're not.
little
They're not. They're not blue.
things
They're
out
not
there.
blue. Their
Oh, they
weapon
look
was
blue.
blue. They
Oh, their
are.
weapon was blue.
They're more
Excuse me.
greenish.
Okay, sorry.
They're more green.
Okay. Well, there are weird little scaly beings over there. Two of them. They were on the stairs. I don't think they heard me. We need to be careful.
The
Do
husband.
we
The
lose
husband.
sanity for hearing that, or are we
No,
alright?
the husband gasps and go, "The little people." Roll me mythos rolls for anyone who has mythos.
Those were
Do
not
me.
people.
They had their own lights, didn't they?
They have a
66,
sort of dim
no
light.
chance.
No. Violet,
37. No.
is that a pass or a fail?
No, that's a
Oh,
fail.
No, none of you recognize this. You don't know
You
what
did me,
they are.
did you?
I haven't done you.
Rectify that.
You
to be fair.
recognize what they are, though.
Oh.
You go, wait, it all connects in your head. The strange skeleton you found at that ruin. It looked sort of reptilian. They sound sort of reptilian. Are they serpent people? But they don't seem to be tall enough, because the skeleton that you saw was a lot larger. It was the size of a man. These are not the size of a man.
It's Babby.
There's something
Yeah.
odd about them.
They're children.
Baby serpent people.
They're either, you conclude they might be children, there might be something wrong with them, but they sound like serpent people. A precursor species that existed well before the dawn of man.
I'm all about that.
To go shoot them?
I don't know. Do we really want to engage with them?
Do we know if they're a threat?
They held something that I believe is some kind of pistol, maybe?
I mean, it could.
So
just
they
be
seem
for self-
armed.
Could be for self-defense.
Yeah, but we don't know what they interpret as self-defense. They might just shoot us on sight.
Well, there might be more coming up behind us.
Yeah.
And then we'll be in shit.
You don't see anyone behind you presently.
Well, there were only two of them. If we can sneak up and get like lucky shots on them, I guess we can take them out, but
I mean, we didn't spot any in the other passageway. That was also an option.
yeah.
Luke,
Yes.
roll me other language serpent people, please.
Do I have any of that?
You have 6% in that.
All right, let's do it.
You learnt it from Milton.
I got the amazing score of 97.
Score.
There is some kind echoing in the cavern right ahead of you and all around you is the sound of conversation. It's very hissy and entirely unintelligible to all of you. It's very softly spoken, but it still reverberates all around. Definitely two distinct voices, though.
So just two. So in theory, we could overpower them if we got the element of surprise. But do we want to?
We may have to. I don't think our NPCs will let us not engage. They think these things have their children. So
Then the best option is if we have our sneaky people get as close as we can and try and ambush them.
yeah,
Yep.
I think our NPCs will engage them anyway.
Well, if we
don't-
tell them we'll do it sneakily, then hopefully they won't do anything dumb.
You can tell them that.
Yes.
They will. You're not going to get any objection from them. You get a nod from Rab McRae. We'll stay here then. Cover you just in case.
So we'll give it a go. So who's got a high sneak? It's Schmidt and it's
Schmidt and Stravinsky,
Yeah.
yeah. They have the
Smith
highest
followed
sneak.
by me. I'm
I
red in
sneak
Discord,
high.
by the way, so I
I
might
mean,
be
if I can
robot.
try and get into his best position, I can.
You would have to sneak.
Then I guess the best is I wait potentially. Then
Yeah, I mean, it's a 10% chance, the skill, so...
it's too risky.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can get any closer without sneak.
You would have to sneak, because the cavern is so large that as soon as you start... If you don't sneak, your footsteps are going to reverberate around.
Can we get Smith up in near the other exit so they don't get away, and then engage them?
You could get
All of
Grant.
us.
You could get
Who?
who?
Schmidt, Kleiker.
Sorry, what? Say again?
Yo, I'm red in Discord, so I might be robot.
No, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we get Smith up by the exit they came from, and then we
Oh,
engage them,
sorry,
so
I
that
thought you
if
said
they,
Smith. I thought it was. I
Yeah.
thought you said.
You said Smith. I'm Schmidt.
yeah, it's the same thing.
You're a Russian. You wouldn't even say Smith.
Smoy-
Either
Schmitty
way,
cop.
what are you planning here?
Well, if we get Kleiker up there,
Yeah.
then they can't run and get more. Although us shooting will probably bring more.
That's
but-
true.
What are they doing? Do they look like they're gonna come down where we are? They're just
I
hanging
would
out by
say
the
from
altar?
your military experience, Schmidt, that they were on guard, watching for any intruders. That's what you think they'd be doing if they were stood
Yeah.
on the stairs. They're waiting for. They're on watch, pretty much. You think?
Oh, they're not coming down into the room.
Nope, they're not coming down. From what Schmidt saw, they were staying on the stairs.
Yep. They were standing there, basically hanging out.
You don't
Do I
know
know anything about serpent people? Sorry, just quickly, do I know anything about serpent people that might be of use?
You already rolled your mythos roll on that.
But is that the only source? So there's nothing that we could have gleaned from having looked at the previous skeletons and stuff.
No,
and,
you
like,
won't. You won't be able to glean anything about, say, their.
What about culture? Their culture and stuff, like a historical thing, like whether they're an aggressive species or whether they
You-
weren't.
You only knew that they were an ancient precursor species. You don't know enough about how aggressive they were.
Because I was thinking, if you could use medicine or biology to figure something out about them, that could be interesting.
You knew that
Because
the
you looked at the
of-
skeleton
of the body
previously.
that
I
you
looked at the skeleton in depth, didn't I? But I guess I didn't.
Yeah.
Get
you concluded that they were roughly humanoid-sized, probably a little more light in build, but probably no weaker than humans. But these ones that you've seen here do not fit the description. They're too small.
But otherwise, they look like they match.
They look like they match, but from the descriptions that Schmidt has given, you'd probably conclude, Daniel, that these are probably deformed. There's
Luckily,
something
no
wrong
one
Oh, so
has
they're like
that
actually
knowledge.
hunched. They're not just small. They're
Yeah,
like
one of them.
hunched.
Yeah, no, they are small and hunched.
Like
One of
pretzel.
them is small and hunched, and one of them is small and like lean, like this body leans over to one side. There's something wrong with them, from what you'd think, Daniel. They're too
That
small.
might make them, well, that might make them easier to overpower.
Possibly.
But we also don't know if they can speak English.
You also don't know what those things they're holding are.
Well, we can assume they're some sort of weapon.
Was there anything in the hut indicating that McBain spoke serpent?
Nope.
None of his books. Well, they probably have a way of talking to him then.
The
if
books
he
were
doesn't
all in
speak
English.
serpent.
Well, they mentioned a name that didn't sound very human.
Which one?
They said they were going to meet with a target, like someone, and they had to listen to him like they would.
Belphegor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I roll a
The
cult on
the wanted
Belphegor?
man.
Roll what?
Can I roll a cult on Belphegor? Because Belphegor is an occult name.
You can roll it if you like.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Belgian, isn't it?
43.
You think that is a sort of a name, but a name that's been carried by several occultish people in the past. All of which you would guess are probably long dead by now, but considering the people you fought, perhaps not. No,
Yeah, because that's some lesser Key of Solomon shit.
no particular Belphegor comes to mind that would
Yeah, that's
be
like
in
a
this,
demon-y sort of name, isn't
would
it?
be in this area. I mean, it has been held by a few people in the past. But you have the situation here of these two in this area.
Yeah.
The other place had no one in it that you could see.
So okay, if Stravinsky and Smith sneak halfway into the room along the sides,
All right.
we have one of you make a sound. They come in, we crossfire them.
That's not a bad idea.
But we need to have someone, possibly a man with best sneak, since it would be the longest route, to be in a position where he can shoot them if they decide to tail it up the stairs to get
In which
reinforcements.
case, you probably want to be on the right-hand side because the stairs are on the left-hand side of this cavern.
So Smith, right-hand side. Stravinsky not quite so far up because he's not as good at
Okay.
sneaking, so he probably won't go as fine. And then someone makes a noise. They come in, we shoot them.
How are you going to indicate that they should make a noise?
Gang signs.
This cavern will be pitch black. Apart from like the light that you decide to issue out and the light that's up by the stairs.
RTS, Russian touch language. I rub them suggestively.
You'd have to be
Uh,
by them, which would defeat the point of their sneaking.
Well, Daniel's been in the military. Stravinsky's been in the military. So is Smith.
You
Can we
could
gang sign something?
you could just time it.
Sure. We sing "Swing on a Star" to time it.
How long? In
Just call me Hudson Schmidt.
how long?
I don't know,
A minute, two?
I've been swimming on a star. Yeah, like
you
a
sure?
minute. Sounds good.
I think 2 minutes 55 seconds. Would you like to
2 minutes
swing on
then.
a star?
Or 3?
2 minutes, yeah.
2 minutes. All right. I will roll your sneak rolls then. You
We're
engage-
singing the Erlkönig.
You're singing.
It's not a
No,
song.
we're not singing. the
Please do
Erlkönig.
not sing if you're trying to sneak.
But
That
no,
would
like
really.
in our heads to get the timing right.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Mhm.
It's a Hudson
Love
Hawk
you,
reference.
pig.
It's all right.
Okay. You start sneaking.
Pig is
It does
alive.
not take very long before Stravinsky finds a bit of rock on the floor that he didn't anticipate and trips.
Well,
It makes quite a commotion. You
well, that's the signal.
you didn't get very far at all either, Schmidt, and you almost
Okay.
nearly tripped on something yourself, but Stravinsky beat you to it.
God damn it.
The
Well,
conversation,
when Daniel,
the muted
re-
convers. Yep. They didn't get
Okay,
very.
sorry, I'm
They
back.
didn't get very far. Stravinsky tripped, fell.
Oh, okay.
The quiet conversation that was echoing around stops. There's a few words spoken between them. You hear footsteps.
Alright, so I'll get in. Is there any sort of cover I can get into position behind?
The
As best
only
I can?
cover you have, by the mouth of it, there are a few rock protrusions that you could take cover behind. Beyond that,
Yeah.
it's pretty much just tiny little things you can fall over.
In that case, I'll use that as best I can then.
All
the
right.
footsteps coming or going.
It's difficult to tell with the echoing.
Okay, well, we need to stop them if they're leaving.
Violet, what are you doing? Violet has been summarily.
Oh, sorry, I muted because of background noise. Is there anything that I can investigate?
If you want to walk
Uh,
past where those things are, but nothing
Like-
especially here. It's more that there's footsteps and it looks like they're moving.
All right, in that case, I mean, I'm not really the person for.
Come
would you
crouch by
call it?
this rock by me and take some cover of me.
Yeah, I think I'll just crouch. I haven't really got a strong sneak game.
Be a
Almost as well as I can
stalagmite.
take cover behind you since you're so big.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're doing that. You're hiding. Are you actually just using it for cover, or are you trying to hide?
No, I'm using it for cover.
Using it for cover. Okay.
I'm not hiding. I'm using it as strategic cover.
No, that's
best
fair
I can.
enough. There are footsteps. Schmidt,
I listen to hear where the footsteps are coming from.
you can hear that there's only one pair of footsteps that are moving towards you.
Oh, okay.
There's only one pair of footsteps.
Can I communicate that to the others somehow? That
Not without making noise. It's
okay. No hand signals or anything.
no, it's way too dark.
Okay.
These
Uh,
you can tell these footsteps are heading closer to where you'd think Stravinsky is.
Can I get in a position that I may be able to help and maybe like sneak in such a way that the footsteps would move past me and I can like punch the thing out?
The
or
footsteps
something?
are going to move past you anyway. The problem is, they're
The
not
one
right next to
leaving,
you. You're going to have to,
I think.
if you want to fight this thing in melee, you'd have to close the distance.
Oh, then I'd like to kind of sneak close to the distance so
Okay,
I can
you're
hit
gonna
it with
sneak.
my gun.
Okay. This turned out to be you decide to start moving.
Yes.
You step on something that crackles and crumples,
Goddamn cereal.
and you hear a as it turns.
The thing he stepped on.
Wait, I stepped on the thing.
No, that's the thing
Oh.
that you're moving towards has
Oh,
turned.
okay.
A
Because that was my
20
first thought as well.
20
Like, shit,
meter.
I stepped on its long,
No, no.
20-meter long
Yeah,
tail.
No, you didn't.
20,
No.
20-meter osteoporotic foot from a lizard man.
No.
Crackles.
No, okay, so it hears me, I guess.
Yes, it does hear you.
But can it see me? Can I see it?
For a moment, you're absolutely still. Then you hear a sound as if a crack of lightning has bellowed around you, and a jolting arc of pure white is instantaneously approaching you. Do you wish to dodge?
Yes, and I shout, Ach, hat eine Blitzkanone!
Because this thing is heading straight for you.
Luke
we
is
entering
like,
combat?
yes.
You're about to enter combat.
The lightning cannon! Rennt mal Leben, er hat eine Panzerfaust!
You what happens is your instincts kick in, and they're the only thing that save you, because your instinct is to get straight to the ground. You
It's
drop.
okay, I've dodged.
Dodges lightning.
You dropped
I've
to
dodged,
dodge.
I've dodged many lightning strikes during the Great War.
You drop to the ground, and this thing impacts on the wall right behind you. If that thing had hit you, it would have got your head.
Yeah, I would like to point out that I have 80% dodge, so this is just
It's not enough to dodge
expected.
lightning.
This is
Natural wizardry.
like my character is built in such a way that I just get into shit and get out of shit. That's my character.
We are now in combat. You are against. Ooh.
Can someone grab aggro, please? I need to get my rotation
Well,
back in line.
fortunately for you, it's actually your turn.
Of course, because I move the fastest.
You are very
out of
fast.
Every thing that is alive.
This is
Okay.
entire.
You
So
would
what
have
you
seen,
guys basically see is you see this creature, very briefly illuminated by the by this blast from this weapon. Not enough that you can get a very clear view of its entire form, which is quite fortunate for you because you'd have to roll sanity checks otherwise. And you
Perfect.
hear Schmidt cry out, go to the ground. You don't see him get hit, as in you see him dodge it, which is fortunate for you because it's all illuminated.
But once the lightning is gone, I take it it's so black again that the thing is like not visible.
You
And neither am I.
roughly know, yeah, you roughly know where it was,
Yeah,
though.
but I can't see it. Like
you can't
directly.
see it. No.
Okay. Which if I don't expect it to be able to see in the dark, I kind of expect it can't see me either, but it knows about where I am.
This is your hope
Okay.
that it can't see in
Well,
the
like,
dark.
again, I'm just saying, like that's the. I want to get a feel for how the lighting is, and it's just dark, basically.
is
Yeah,
for
terrible.
they
everybody.
had dimmer light than ours, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that they are light sensitive. Yeah.
I don't have the light on me.
No. You do have your gun with you, though.
I know, but it would be really dumb to shoot that.
I could illuminate it. On my
I know, but it's not your turn yet. So
you could
I
illuminate
wonder
it.
what I'm doing. But here's the thing, Kiko, can I? Like, I mean, we're in a natural cave, and I stepped on shit. I take it there is something right where I'm lying, and I try to be very still. There is something that I can grab. Like, doesn't have to be a rock, can be like shards or like something that I could grab and potentially throw.
Let me see if there is something like that. Sadly not.
There's nothing.
The only thing that you had is the thing that you have crushed under your boot.
Okay, well then, 1 second.
That is not.
I do have additional bullets in my pockets,
You
right?
do have additional bullets in your pocket.
I want to take like just quickly grab into my pocket, grab like 2 or 3 of my bullets,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically throw them to the opposite side of where I dodged to
Okay. You're gonna
create
throw.
noise.
Okay.
To create noise and get the thing to maybe reveal itself again and not have a beat on all of us or on me again.
Just have it shoot your after images.
Yes. No. What?
Fucking dodge, man.
You throw. You grab these things and you quickly throw. It.
Like, I'm not trying to hit any specific thing or whatever, right? I'm just like throw it in the darkness, basically. Create.
So
noise.
so I know where Schmidt is, but where's Vinny Smithsky then?
You believe he is he's further in on the left-hand side. You can't see exactly where he is. He's in the dark.
I'd worry more about the other lizard. I think it's leaving to get
What
friends.
what happens in now is that the thing that that fired lets out an almighty loud hiss and fires again.
At
you think it's aiming at you, but this shot is terrible. Because it's aiming at where you were rather than where you are.
Rookies everywhere, man.
So it
Roll Smith's luck
it
to have
aims as
the,
if you were still standing. And so
We should
it,
get the Lizard of Space Invaders machine.
I kind of feel like my idea with the bullets was still alright and saved
No,
my
it's-
life, so I'm gonna
it's-
run with that.
Like, I guess it depends if there's a luck roll to see whether or not the bullets fire from the lightning and hit the lizard or you.
Stravinsky.
That would be
Stravinsky, it's your
Yes?
turn.
Okay, do I have any idea where the lizard is from my
Yeah, it
position
did
on the
just
floor?
fire.
Very vaguely. You could
have the
fire.
elephant gun.
You will take a penalty, but you can fire.
Have the elephant gun right?
Yes, you do have an elephant gun.